Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today, we're going to be ranking, well not ranking, we're going to be grading NFL teams by how they performed in round 1 of the draft. So, let's hop into the video. So, let's start with the Arizona Cardinals, which that will be a B. They got Walter Nolan with the 16th overall pick, and it was a good pick. I liked it. So, well, it's going to be good for the Arizona Cardinals. And then the Atlanta Falcons, they got 2 picks. They got Jalen Walker, and then they're going to get James Pierce Jr., which I'll give that a C. Not terrible. Like, just not Michael Shucks, fuck. James Pierce Jr. is not bad, and same with, Jalen Walker, he's pretty good, so I'm going to give the Falcons a C on that. The Baltimore Ravens, I'll give them a B. They got Michael Starks, who is pretty good player, and he could probably elevate the Baltimore Ravens. The Buffalo Bills, they got Maxwell Hailstone. I never heard of this guy. They get, and I'm just kidding, they don't get an F. There's some other teams down there that gets Fs, but they got Maxwell Hailstone. Who the fuck is that? I don't remember drafting him. So, Buffalo Bills, they get a D. And also I hate the Bills. Okay, not in biased though. The Buffalo Bills do get a D. Then the Carolina Panthers. Now a lot of people are kind of, underestimating Ted McMillan. And yeah, Ted McMillan is not Taylor McMillan's not that good. But what the Carolina Panthers did, okay, they needed weapons in the draft, and they got it with Taylor McMillan. So I'm gonna give the Panthers a B. It was pretty good. It was a pretty good pick, not gonna lie. The Chicago Bears, I'll give them a C. They got, okay, if you want to select a tight end at 10, you should have went to Tyler Warren. Tyler Warren's way better than Coastland Loveland. They're both equally good, but they're both good. But Tyler Warren's a way better with tight end. And also, if you get Amari and Hampton, if you decide to get him, I would have put you probably in a B, or even anything better. I will put you in a B, but I'm gonna have to put you in a C. It's not terrible, but it wasn't impressive. The Cincinnati Bengals, they get a D. Well, actually, wait, no, they got Shamil Stewart. No, man. They get a C, because I just realized some of the other draft picks are just ridiculous. Bengals, they get a C. Not terrible picks. Shamil Stewart's pretty good. I think they have some other concerns, unless Trey Heckinson is actually leaving. I don't know, selecting Shamil Stewart was a good idea, but, whatever. The Cleveland Browns, I'm going to give them a D, just because they could have had a Travis Hunter. If the Browns decided to draft Travis Hunter, they would have been an A, or maybe a B. But I have to put them in a D. There was no fucking way you passed on Travis Hunter to get Mason Graham. Don't get me wrong, Mason Graham is good, but you skipped on Travis Hunter. You could have had that. So, yeah, absolutely just sad. The Dallas Cowboys, they get an F, bro. What they got? Tyler Booker. Tyler Booker's not bad, but he's a second round player at best. You guys could have got Maureen Hampton. You could have had Matthew Golden. You could have had all of those guys. Instead, you picked a second rounder at best that is only he was an offensive guard. Yeah, the Cowboys, they get an F. Shaquille Bowen to the Broncos. I'll give that a C. It's not. The Broncos really didn't need a cornerback. They got Pat Surtain already. Yeah, not really crazy for that. The Lions, they got Williams. I even pronounce his first name. I don't feel like it. Yeah, they're gonna get a C. It's a defensive tackle. Last name's Williams. I can't pronounce the first name. I don't feel like pronouncing that. I know, I'm a lazy fuck. Anyways, the Detroit Lions, they get a C. In the draft. Yeah. The Green Bay Packers, I'll give them a B. They got Matthew Golden, which is probably the best receiver in the draft. I don't think it's Terry or McMillan. McMillan was a missing, like, the Panthers needed a receiver. Same with the Packers. The Packers needed a receiver, and they finally got it. So, that's good. The Houston Texans get an F. They didn't even draft out of the first round, so yeah, no. They get an F. Fat F. The Indianapolis Colts, they get a B. They got Tyler Warren now. They got the tight end position all fixed. And yeah, they got the whole position. Well, not the whole position fixed. But they got a better tight end. Who can be pretty good. Jacksonville Jags. So they get an A. Jacksonville, they got Travis Hundle. Like they get an A. They get an A for that. They could have had Mason Graham, but they got Mason Graham or Ashton Genty. I think I would have put them in B, maybe C. But no, the Jags, they get an A for that. That was really good. Kansas City Chiefs, I'll give them a. Who they got? Josh Simmons. Okay, it's not terrible. I'll say C. I might move that up though, but Josh Simmons, he's an offensive tackle. Chiefs need. Wait, yeah, no, I think about it. Chiefs needed an offensive tackle and they traded, but so it doesn't matter. Okay, so yeah, I'm gonna give them a B. They kind of patched up. When Joe Tooney was on the Chiefs and they traded it to Chicago, they got Josh Simmons to replace him. Pretty good replacement. Las Vegas Raiders, they get an A for that. They got Ashton Genty. They got a generational player. Well, one of the generational players. And yeah, they did fix the running back situation, and I feel like Ashton Genty is going to be good in Las Vegas. Meanwhile, the second running back that got selected, Amari Hampton, aka the Chargers that drafted him, I'll give them a B. They really, actually now I think about it, D. They didn't even need him. Like those receivers out there that the Chargers could have used, but instead you wasted it on Amari Hampton. You got Najee Harris from the Steelers. So why you wasted that 22nd overall pick? You could have did something with that. So yeah, D. Rams F. They didn't even draft. So fat F. Miami Dolphins. My favorite team. We all know that. We did draft Kenneth Grant. Am I happy? I'm not totally upset. If we got Will Johnson, I would have said a B or maybe an A. I'm going to say a C. At least we got a defensive tackle, but it's not our least concerns again. We need to go work on the cornerback, and we need to work on the O-line, and we didn't even, got those. We got a defensive tackle. Yeah, pretty disappointing, not going to lie. But, hey, Kenneth Grant is not bad, so I'll give us a C. For that, the Vikings got Donovan Jackson. The fuck is this man? Yeah, D. He's not. He was worth a second. He was worth a second round pick. Why? Anyways, Patriots. Should I lean? I'm gonna lean them to a high B, probably B plus. They got Will Campbell. Okay, I actually now think about it, Will Campbell. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna say fuck it and just give them a B. Yeah, well, Will Campbell, if you think about it, the Patriots needed a O-line. They need to protect Drake May. Will Campbell is probably the best offensive tackle in the draft this year. So yeah, no, fuck it. The Patriots are gonna get an A for the draft. I have to give them credit. What credit was due, and they did. Good job for Will Campbell. One of the best offensive lines in football, in the draft this year. So yeah, the Saints. I'll give them a C. They got Calvin Banks Jr. and you know what? That's not a bad draft pick. It's not terrible. I will admit that, but it's not a bad draft pick, but they could have got something better, but not Shadow Sandals. but they could have had like a different player, you know. The Giants, if they just draft a dual Cardinal, it would have been an automatic yay. But now instead they draft Jackson Dart D, and I have to put them a B. The New York Jets, got Armin Benbu. Yeah, they get B for that. That was a pretty good pick, not gonna lie. That was part of the best O line. So yeah, they got an A. A B. The Eagles, they get a B too. They got Chad Campbell. Now I think about it, they get an A. They traded with the Chiefs. They got the best player on the board. How is Harry Wilson cooking like this, bro? The Steelers, if they got Shador Sanders, I will put them in an A, but they didn't. They got Derek Hampton with Holman, so it's not like terrible, but I have to give the Steelers a C. Not well. Actually, no, I'm gonna give them a B. The Steelers got a B. Then the San Francisco 49ers, I'm gonna give them probably a C. Michael Williams is pretty good, but it's not terrible, but he's pretty good. The Seahawks, they will get a C too. They got Gray Sambo, like it's not a terrible draft pick. The Bucks, they get a D. They drafted a receiver. Why you need to draft a receiver who is probably not even like who the receiver they got? It's not bad, so no, never mind. But to say it was pretty bad, but no, he's pretty good. So I'm gonna give them a D because they didn't need a receiver. The Titans, they're gonna get an A. They fixed the quarterback position with Cam Ward. And then the Washington Commanders, to finish it off, they're gonna be they will be getting not a D, a B. They got Josh Coney Jr. Pretty good football players. So yeah. So this is where I'll probably grade my NFL teams from the draft. So hopefully you enjoyed the video, like and subscribe, and I'll see you in another video.